Hello my lovelies, today I am going to go over my new or updated minimal makeup collection. I have added a few pieces and updated it since doing my declutter, obviously because I got rid of quite a bit in that video. So if you haven't seen it, maybe you want to, maybe you don't, maybe you just want to see what I have at the moment. So I have replenished some things, I have added some things that maybe I didn't need to, but I couldn't help myself. I still have at least one product that I'm still kind of missing. I didn't really want to wait to make this video, and I'm really not in a space where I want to just add a product to fill like a hole in my collection. I really want to be intentional, and I say this as I know I have more than I probably need still, but I think it's progress and I'm quite happy with what I have at the moment. I think this updated collection really has improved from my last one. So I'll start with my base products. I will show you the products that I kept from my declutter. I am assuming if you watch that you probably don't remember, but I'll try not to kind of ramble on for too long about them, but kind of to get an idea of what my entire collection looks like. I feel like I want to include them. So I do have both of the foundations still, the Fenty Ease Drop and the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. I still love and wear both of these. I wore the Ease Drop today and I actually felt like it was just a hair too dark for me at the moment. Even though I wear sunscreen religiously, I feel like I still kind of go a little bit lighter during the winter time, but it's not so bad that I actually have to buy a different shade. So I think it's going to work fine, and I think this one might fit even better, so I obviously don't need any more foundation. And then I still have the Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer and the Bobbi Brown corrector. Both of these are really good products, but I did mention in my declutter that I really felt this past year that I missed a good under eye concealer. So I decided to buy one, and I bought this. This is the Clarins Everlasting Concealer, and I bought this because I got a sample of it in one of those like little packets that you just squeeze out a little bit of product, and I thought it was quite good. I felt like it was pretty good coverage. It was still fluid and creamy and not too thick, so I felt like it worked really well underneath my eyes. And then I bought the product and I felt like it wasn't quite as good. I am sure this is just me imagining things, I am sure, but I just felt like it was a little bit more fluid. It wasn't quite as high coverage, but I will keep using it. I feel like I'm in a period where I'm a little bit stubborn. I want to keep actually using the products, and I know that yes, I could just get rid of it and get another concealer that I might like better, but I'm a little bit stubborn. I'm noticing I want to not fall back into that pattern where I just keep repurchasing new things all the time. So I want to kind of stick with the things that I do buy. And I mean, it's not a bad concealer. I do still use it. So I'm just being unnecessarily negative. It does have like a nice coverage and it goes nicely underneath my eyes. It's much better than using only the Sensual Skin Enhancer, which I used before, and it was just too thick. So I really enjoy having something a little bit lighter. I'm probably not going to repurchase it, but I will definitely use it. Next I have powder, and this is also an area where I felt like I needed to have a little bit of a different approach when it came to my collection, because I tried to stick with only one product in every category. It's not that easy, but I really tried. So I did have one container of loose powder. I do really love loose powder. I feel like it's just a little bit easier to work with, it lasts longer, and as you can see from my declutter, there was plenty left, and I just felt bad getting rid of so much product. And one of you or several of you commented that I should get a mini size, a travel size of loose powder. I can't for the life of me understand why I didn't think of that myself. But I ended up getting like a mini size of the Laura Mercier, what's even this powder called? Translucent Loose Setting Powder. And this is really good. I actually haven't tried this before and I really enjoyed it. I don't really understand. There are so many kind of it's called products that I just have never really tried, so I've added a couple of them here. But I really love this powder, and as you can see, even though this is like a travel size, there is so much product in here. This definitely will take me some time to get through. I don't use a ton of powder because I do have slightly like dry and dehydrated skin. I don't need a ton of powder. Thank you so much to all of you who suggested I do this instead of buying a huge container that I can't even get through. this was definitely it. This was it. But I also said in my decluttering video that I really missed having a pressed powder, a compact as well. I just had to kind of accept that I can't just have one powder. I need both loose and pressed powder. Need is relative, you get what I'm saying. I bought this NARS. I haven't even opened this. It's the translucent crystal powder. I've had this before several times and I just think it's so good. It's beautiful. They have definitely changed the packaging since the last time I had it. It had more like those rounded corners. Now it is like really pointy corners. This is just such a beautiful powder and it just looks like nothing on the skin. It's gorgeous. I do really like the Charlotte Tilbury pressed powder that I've used before, but this one is definitely much more finely milled, it feels like, and it just blurs out texture. It doesn't add anything. I feel like I could apply 10 layers of this and it still wouldn't look cakey. The only thing is I do go through these kind of quickly, so I feel like it's kind of expensive to only have this. I do like to also have a loose powder, so I'm really happy I have both of these, and this is going to be really easy to take in my purse. So these are the products I have currently for my base products. It feels almost scary to buy so much new makeup at once when I've tried to kind of just stay away from it completely. I have to be honest, it felt a little bit like, oh, what am I doing? But I knew it was needed. I've noticed how useful it has been to stay with the same few products for a really long time, because everything I've added here has a purpose, and it's really just confirmed to me how good of an idea it was to do this for myself, if I'm allowed to say so. I bought 2 new cheek products and I kind of repeated my mistake from last time, but also I don't think I have. But anyways, I'm gonna talk through it. Let me kind of try to justify my mistake here. I have 2 cheek products that I kept from my declutter. It's this KVD Beauty powder blush. I can't actually find this shade anymore, which is making me a little bit nervous. It's the honeysuckle shade. I don't know if it's discontinued, but it's such a good shade. And then I have the Armani Fluid Sheer Glow Enhancer. I love this product, and I also can't find this shade anymore. I'm hoping they're just temporarily out of stock, because what is happening? I love this product. It's really beautiful and it's really white and has like a cool undertone. It's beautiful. It's obviously a fluid highlighter. And then I had to add a new bronzer as I finished my Fenty Beauty one, and I just wanted to try something new. I did really enjoy the cream bronzer, but for winter I do really like powder products, powder finishes, so I wanted to try something new, and I went with the Hourglass ambient lighting bronzer thing. Somehow I have never managed to actually try their bronzers, and oh my goodness, they're so good. I was gonna say, why didn't anyone tell me, but like, everyone told me a decade ago, and now they're like not the hype it thing to buy anymore, but the product is still so good. I've actually not finished my makeup, so let me just apply a little bit. I feel like this is just kind of impossible to do wrong. I'm really happy that I ended up buying something in a powder finish, because I just enjoy it more now that it's winter. I really love this bronzer. I'm very happy that I ended up trying something new, because I do really like trying new products, but I just don't want to fall into the trap of buying and trying new products before I even have a chance to finish the products that I already have. And I might actually buy the cream bronzer again, because I have repeated my mistake from last time. So I did mention in my declutter that it was kind of a little bit inconvenient to have one bronzer and one blush, and they were different finishes. So I had a cream bronzer and a powder blush, and it was just a little bit like I couldn't really layer them that easily. I had to go with powder in between, and it was just not the most kind of, not the way I preferred to do it, but I kind of tried to stick with it and see what I could do to work around it. So I used my lipsticks a lot as cream blush, and at least now I do have a powder finish in both a blush and a bronzer, so I do enjoy that. But I have to admit, I have repeated my mistake, because now I went and I bought a cream blush. I don't really have a very good excuse for this, because I have kind of proved to myself that I can get by with using my lipsticks as blush, but I just wanted it, okay? This was definitely a want, I will admit it, but I feel like I went all of last year without a cream blush, so I'm just justifying it. I know I didn't really technically need it, but I do really enjoy it. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Glowgasm Beauty Light Wand. It's the peach shade. What's it called? Peachgasm. Okay, so I obviously have powder products on my face right now. I'm just gonna do it on my hand. It's a really fun product. I think I remember from the pink one that it wasn't like a ton of product in here. I think it's kind of expensive, but it's fun, and I really love the kind of gold highlight in it as well. I don't really have a good excuse for repeating the same mistake, but I'm not unhappy. I don't regret it. So there we are. Anyways, that's probably enough rambling about cheek products. Let's move on, shall we? I just want to touch on my brow products very quickly. I have the brow pomade that I kept from my declutter because it's not really used that much at all. As you can see, there is a lot of use left in this one. And then I just repurchased 2 other products. The brow pencil, this is the NYX one. I go through so many of these, I've lost count, but I needed a new one, so I repurchased that. And then I also bought a new 24-hour brow setter from Benefit. I love this one, it's so good. So I mean, nothing new, nothing very exciting there, but it works, and that was not the area I was kind of like itching to try something new in anyways. So let's just move swiftly on to eye makeup, which is a little bit more exciting, I think. I have a few new bits here. I bought a new eyeshadow primer, and it's really nice to have something that finally works. I bought the NARS Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. This one works really well. I've wanted to try this for a while, and I kind of had it in the back of my mind that when I was going to switch out my previous eyeshadow primer, the one from Milk Makeup, I kind of wanted to try this one. I'm really happy I did. This one does also have that doe foot applicator, which is not my favorite. Other than that, I think this one works so well. And then I did also buy new eyeshadows. I feel like I'm gonna have to defend this, and I will. Okay, so in my declutter I talked about my 2 eyeshadow palettes that I kept. It's a mini palette, the Soft Glam 2 from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It works, I still wear it, still use it. And then I also have the Natasha Denona Biba palette. Love this thing, really nice. Love it, love it, love it. I know I said in my declutter that I probably wouldn't be able to pan these before they expire, and I probably could have done with just 1 palette, and I know I said all of these things, okay, but I'm not perfect. So I bought 2 eyeshadows, and I've actually had both of these before. They are repurchases, and I thought about buying them a year ago, so I did manage to wait. So I feel like even though they probably weren't completely necessary, I showed some restraint. I did wait a while. So these are the Hourglass Scattered Light eyeshadows. It's in Reflect and Ray. So they were definitely a want and not a need. I know it's a little bit rich, especially considering I know I have enough eyeshadow, but I did really want them. Just 2 of them. I'm not gonna go crazy, and I'm gonna see if it's actually worth it and if I'm gonna have enough use out of them for the year. It just has that beautiful kind of shiny, almost wet look effect that I don't feel like any of my other eyeshadows in my palettes have. The battery is already dying. It's exhausted with me and all of my excuses. So let me switch the battery real quick. Okay, there we are, I think. I'm just gonna finish up putting on this eyeshadow. I really just love how easy they are to apply and blend out, and they just give such a beautiful look. And I know I've talked about wanting to repurchase them before, so it's not completely out of the blue. It's definitely not an impulse purchase. This is the shade Ray, and I just think it gives such a kind of like soft glam, kind of smoky eye look, especially if I put a little bit of pencil eyeliner. This one I kept from my declutter as well. So this is the darker shade that I bought, and maybe I could have gotten by with just 1. The Reflect one is a lighter shade, which I think is a little bit more sort of appropriate for daytime. It has like slightly champagne-y undertones. It's just so beautiful. I love both of these so much, and I am a little bit conscious of the fact that I know in my declutter I said that I wanted a single eyeshadow that was a proper highlight, like a really light, which neither of these obviously are, and that is kind of bringing me back. I should have talked about this when I talked about my cheek products. I am so sorry. I am all over the place, okay? Should have had another little shot of caffeine perhaps, but I did show you the highlighter that I have, and I do really like this. I'm actually kind of happy that I haven't bought a powder highlight yet, because I experimented with this and I noticed that I can very sparingly apply it over powder products, which, I mean, why not share? I use this kind of like duo fiber brush just to go very gently over the powder, and it's been fine. However, as I mentioned, I do want a powder highlight as well. I have just not really found that product yet. Hopefully you can see here, it does actually give like a nice glow. It's not too over the top. I have kind of looked around a little bit and I just haven't found anything that I feel like is truly amazing, so I might just have to order something online without really testing out the shade, and I'm not a huge fan of that because things can look so different in real life. I've looked at the Rare Beauty powder highlight, but it looks a little bit too glittery for me. I don't know. And then I've also looked at the Dior Face Glow palette, which I think looks great, and you get blush and things with it, but it's impossible to find. I feel like it's sold out pretty much everywhere. But if you have an experience with either of these or any other powder or highlight to recommend that I check out, please let me know. So that is kind of like a little bit of a detour, but I did want to talk about the highlighter slash eyeshadow thing that I don't have, because I think that if I had like a nice powder highlight, I could use that as like a highlight eyeshadow type of thing as well, so I could do double duty. This one doesn't really work on the eyes, it's just gonna be a whole mess. I had this eyeliner lying around. It's the KVD Beauty tattoo liner. I got rid of my old one because it was drying out. I haven't really even opened this one yet. I often use black eyeshadow as eyeliner, so I'm not going to open this until I'm actually using it, but it's there. I definitely want like a liquid eyeliner in my collection. And then the final thing is just a mascara. I have a few of these lying around already, so I'm kind of just opening a new one every few months, because my eyes get really like weird if I use them for too long. So this one is fine. I feel like the brush is really lengthening, but it's not like really that thickening on my lashes. Those are the new eye makeup products. So as you can see, really not a ton of new things purchased. In terms of lipsticks, I did buy a couple of new things, and I also have a few things that I might still purchase. So after my declutter, I have these 3 lipsticks. 2 of them are pretty neutral, and then I have like a hot pink one. As you can see, there is a fair bit left in these lipsticks as well, so I want to be conscious of not buying too many lipsticks because it's difficult to get through, and at least for me, when I have a lot of them, I just forget what I have and I end up wearing the same few shades anyways. So I don't want to buy too many things, but I did actually end up buying one more lipstick, and it is in a neutral shade. As always, I do have an excuse for it though. Let me also just show you, I do have these 2 lip pencils as well. They're a little bit darker nude shades, but I did end up buying one new lipstick. It's from YSL, as you can see, and it's kind of like their shiny, balmy type of lipsticks. And because the lipsticks I have are very pigmented and they're not really shiny or emollient, and they're just very lipsticky, if that makes sense. I have noticed throughout the past year that I really wanted something that was a little bit more balmy, something that felt a little bit lighter on the lips, and something I could kind of apply without thinking too much. And I saw this one. It's the shade 150. It's a beautiful kind of like slightly pinky shade, and it's just so neutral. It goes with so many different things, and it's not too pigmented, and I've used this a ton. I've used it, I want to say, almost every day since I bought it, which isn't that long ago, but still it's really nice to have something that is a lot lighter on the lips as well. So I don't regret buying another lipstick, because it's definitely a finish that I have missed. So I'm really happy that I ended up buying this. And I am also considering buying a red lipstick. It's one shade that I can fall for a lot of different like dark plum shades that look great for fall and things like that, but a red lipstick is something that I actually do wear on a regular basis. I do have a red lip liner still that I will use kind of like just lining my entire lip and filling it in as a red lipstick, but I still just feel like maybe I can justify buying a red lipstick as well. And then I also bought one new lip liner to replace another one I had that it's probably in a bag somewhere, but I have no idea where I have misplaced it. So I needed a new nude lip liner. This is from Charlotte Tilbury. It's in Iconic Nude. I've had this a few times before. I do quite like the shade, and it's just nice to have something to kind of line my lips with. Anyways, that's going to be it for my updated makeup collection. It was very strange to kind of go in and buy a lot of things when you have gone an entire year without buying anything. And I still have a few things that I think I want to / need to add. I'm seeing here I do have also a new lip oil. This is from Clarins, but I mean, that's more skincare, isn't it? I don't know if any of you can relate to this, where if you've also been at the place where you used to buy a lot more makeup than you could ever get through, and then you kind of went to a place where you were trying to be more mindful and more intentional with your collection. At a certain point, you do have to replace things, you do have to buy new makeup, and it's so weird. It's almost a lot more comfortable to be in the place where I'm not buying any new makeup, and as soon as I kind of like start considering adding some things, I just feel like I'm so scared of falling back into like buying a ton of things. Do you know what I mean? I know it sounds like I'm afraid I'm gonna lose control completely. It's not that serious, I get that, but I just wonder if any of you have also felt that it's a bit like, it's a weird feeling. It's just weird. I don't think this is out of control, even though I added a few things that weren't strictly necessary or just replacing things. But I feel like I'm kind of striking a balance here, at least for me personally. I feel like this collection is an improvement on the one I had, and it feels very good to be able to improve on the things that I didn't really like about my previous collection, because I feel like this is still very minimal. Anyways, that's it for all my ramblings. Thank you so much for watching and sharing any thoughts you have. If you want to, know that they are very appreciated. I'll see you very shortly in the next video. Bye!